Experts in the field of positive psychology use a phrase, the hedonic treadmill, from the word hedonism. Hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure, thinking that pleasure, wherever it's found, will be the ultimate savior. And they use this phrase, the hedonic treadmill, to describe the way we keep chasing for something more. And then once we get it, we quickly adapt to it, and then we need something even more intense in order to scratch that itch. So whatever progress we thought we may have made, we realize we're back in the same place. In other words, there's no such thing as enough. Someone once said that the loneliest moment in life is when you have just accomplished what you thought would deliver the ultimate and it has let you down. If I could just accomplish this, if I could just secure this. Think about the fights or the arguments you may get into with a romantic partner. Somewhere in that argument, somewhere in that fight, I don't know where, but somewhere in there is an experience of unmet expectations. Somewhere. I was counting on you to be like this in this moment. I was counting on you to respond like this in this moment. I was counting on you to make me feel like this in this moment. And you've let me down. You failed me. You haven't delivered. We do this so subtly. We do this so unconsciously. But, and here's the good news, when ultimate meaning comes from above the sun, when it comes from God's love for us, God's approval of us, God's friendship and loyalty to us, God's delight in us, when ultimate meaning comes from that stuff, the stuff above the sun, then we're set free to enjoy all the things under the sun without needing any of those things to save us. So, when you consider ultimate meaning coming from above the sun, it actually helps you to enjoy everything under the sun the way it was meant to be enjoyed. They actually become more fulfilling. That's the irony. When you peak above the sun, and when your ultimate meaning, when ultimate peace, when ultimate satisfaction, when ultimate security comes from above the sun, from God's love for us and God's acceptance of us and God's delight in us and all of those things, then all of the things we were meant to enjoy under the sun, we can finally enjoy. When we depend on things smaller than God to be what only God can be, life becomes much more disappointing and depressing. Blaise Pascal described all of us as having a God-shaped void in our souls that only God is big enough to fill, and yet we spend our lives trying to fill those things that are incapable of doing the job. Let me conclude with this. An old friend wrote this in a devotional years ago. He said, "We all look for it. We all refuse to live without it." What is it that I'm talking about? Well, here it is. All human beings are on a search somehow, some way, to find that solid rock on which to stand. That one thing they can bank on. That one thing that will keep them upright when the storms of life are raging. That one thing that will remain firm for the duration. That one thing that will give them security when nothing else does. That one thing that will finally usher in deep peace. No human being enjoys feeling that he or she is living in the sinking sand of unpredictability, disappointment, and danger with no rock to reach for and stand on. We long for our lives to make sense. We long to have meaning and purpose, and we long to have lasting stability. But in our quest for those things, we try to stand on an endless catalog of God replacements that end up sinking with us. There is, however, a rock to be found. There is a rock that will give you rest when everything else you are looking to for security has been taken away. That rock is Jesus. And you are hardwired to find what you are seeking in him. He is the rock you're longing for. He is the one who alone is able to give you the sense that all is well. So as St. Augustine said, we were made for you, O God, and our hearts are restless until they find their rest in you.